Hello everyone and welcome back to eCoreAcademy. My name is Anita and I'm going to be your teacher for today's Java eCore Express lesson. Our lesson is going to be Unit 2 and the second exercise, so exercise 3.2, and our focus or our objective is going to be on compound if statements. So we're going to be working with an else if ladder, but we're also going to be incorporating and or operators into that ladder to compare values that the users entered with the values in a system that the computer has already established to give the user an output an appropriate response. So the name is going to be a grading system. We're going to be looking at a grading system at a school or a grading module and comparing the numerical value a user enters and giving them back the corresponding alphabetical value. So we're going to use, like I said, an else if ladder and or operators to compare user input to existing values in the grading system. Before we jump into the lesson, I would really appreciate if you all could like, subscribe, hit the post notification bell, drop a comment down below, and share using our socials. Hi everyone, so I switched over to my Eclipse workspace, and here is the prompt all-in comments of the exercise we're going to be doing right now, which is on the grading system. So it reads, the following is the grading system for a particular school. So from a grade of 92 to 100 is an A, from 83 to 92 is a B, from 74 to 83 is a C, from 65 to 74 is a D, and anything below is 65, so if you have anywhere from a 0 to a 65, it's just F, it's a fail, unfortunately. So we're going to be writing a program that allows the user to enter their numerical grade, which is on the 0 to 100 scale, and it's going to output the corresponding alphabetical grade, which is going to be A through F. We're going to use, for our first attempt, we're going to use compound if statements or and or operators, and then for our second attempt, we're going to be using an else if ladder. In this example, I'm going to be showing you how to use the compound if statements, but we will also post on our website another way to do that, so please feel free, that's why I wrote it up here, for you to try this out with an else if ladder, because both work. You can use compound if statements or you can use an else if ladder. Because we covered else if ladders in the previous exercise, I want to focus more on compound if statements with and or operators. So that's what we're going to be doing this video, but again, everything will be posted on our website for you to go check out if you wanted to try this a different way, because it is possible. There's not only one way to do all these programming exercises. Alright, so let's jump right in. Because we want the user input, we want the user to enter what numerical grade they have, we want to use keyboard reader, and we want to import that. So we're going to type keyboard reader equals new keyboard reader parentheses, and we're going to import this. Next, we want a variable where it actually will store whatever value the user has entered, and we're going to actually make this a double. You might ask, why are we making this a double? Well, what if the user enters a number like 90.5? Well, it'll be helpful to have a double. In any case, it's always helpful to have a double, even though the values we're comparing it to are integers, as you can see in this grading system in the comments. It's always helpful to just have a double in case they enter a double. So we're going to write double, and we're just going to call it grade, whatever they enter. Pretty simple standard name. So now that our variable is declared, we are going to have a system.out.println statement that just says, please enter a grade. We want to know what grade we are getting from the user to compare it to our grading system. So please enter a grade. I'm just going to put, well, we don't need a space, and then semicolon. Now we actually want to store whatever the user enters as the grade in our variable grade. So we're going to say grade equals reader.read. Because it's a double, we're going to type double in. So now whatever they enter is going to be stored in our variable grade. And whatever is in variable grade, we're going to compare this variable to our grading system to determine where their numerical value falls. And to do this, to compare, we're going to use an if ladder, and we are going to use these and or operators. We're specifically going to be using and operators here. So in order to do that, we're going to first start with if the grade. So we're going to look at the first range. The first range is 92 to 100. So if the grade is going to be greater than or equal to 92, close parentheses, well, we need to put this in double parentheses, actually. Double parentheses, close parentheses, make sure you type the ampersand. I need to find that on my keyboard. And open parentheses, the grade is less than or equal to 100. So hopefully, at this point, you should kind of understand how these operators work. If it says and, that means both of these statements have to be true. Both of them have to be fulfilled in order for this parameter to be met and the correct output to be displayed. So the grade needs to be greater than or equal to 92 and less than or equal to 100. So it needs to fall in that range, and only if it falls in that range will an A be printed. If, let's say that the grade is less than 100, but it's not greater than a 92. For example, an 85. That's less than 100, but it's not greater than a 92. So it's not going to fall in this range, and an A will not be printed. So both conditions must be fulfilled, and if you're going to be working with like a range and comparing values. And if both of these statements are true, we're just going to system.out.print ln that you got an A. So we're just going to print A. Okay, so now that that's done, I'm just going to copy this whole thing to save us some time, and I'm going to paste it. So let's look at a B. A B is an 83 to a 92. So if the grade is greater than or equal to an 83, and it is less than a 92. In this case, just be careful. We want to remove the equal sign. We just want to say it's less than a 92. If it's equal to a 92, it's going to be an A. That's why we don't want to say equal to up here in this first if statement and equal to down here in the second if statement. It just has to be less than 92. If it's equal to 92, that means it's an A. If it is not equal to a 92, if it's less than that, it means it's a B. But it also has to be greater than or equal to an 83. And that's where the AND operator comes into play. So we're going to change this to a B. And hopefully you understand where I'm going here. So I'm just going to continue doing that. If it's greater than or equal to a 74, now we're working with the C's, and it is less than an 82, that is going to be a C. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste it down here. If it is greater than or equal, if it's greater than or equal to a 65, or if it's less, and if it's less than, if it's less than a 72, if it falls in this range, it's going to be a D. And then finally, if the grade is greater than or equal to a 0, and it's less than a 65, if it falls in the range of 0 to 65, that's just an F. That's going to be a fail. And pretty much that is it. I'm looking at my notes, and I also have the else if ladder, but I just want to save that, and I will post it on the website for you all to look at if you are interested how we could replicate this, but with an else if ladder. If we did an else if ladder, we'd start with an if statement and then continue down the else if ladder, but without these and operators. We wouldn't have to focus on this falling in this range. We would say if the grade is greater than or equal to a 92, so that means it's 92 and above, that would be the first statement, it's an A. Else if it's not greater than a 92, else if it's greater than 83, then it's going to print out a B. So if we say if it's greater than a 92, print out an A, we don't fulfill that, we'll move on to else if. So then by putting that else if, it automatically sets that range for you. You didn't fulfill the 92 requirement, but let's say you fulfill the 83 requirement. That else if statement creates that range for you without having to do what we did here with the and then setting another parameter. That's the only difference with an else if statement. But that's for you to experiment if you are interested. So let's say I have a 95. I get an A. So it's just gonna work. I can run it again and say, let's say I got a 66. That's a D. So it works this way. It also works with an else if ladder. So feel free to experiment if you're interested, and I actually highly suggest you try it on your own. I hope you enjoyed that. Yeah, but that's the lesson. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please make sure to like, subscribe, hit the post notification bell, and drop a comment down below. We will be continuing on with one more kind of exercise in this unit before we move on to loops. So look out for that, and AJ will be instructing that exercise. Bye!